On behalf of Peace Boat, I would like to express my warmest gratitude to ICAP for hosting this event. Thank you everyone for joining today on the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. I would also like to thank ICAP for the continued support of Peace Boat as we travel around the world with our large passenger ship to build friendship among citizens and to make a more peaceful and sustainable world. We have enjoyed so many social and cultural programs with the people of Cuba in our visit to Havana and Santiago, and learned so much from our Cuban friends. Today, we are going to listen to a hibakusha, an atomic bomb survivor from Nagasaki, Mr. Yasuaki Yamashita. As you know, on August 6, 1945, one atomic bomb was dropped by the United States on the city of Hiroshima. And on August 9th, another was dropped on the city of Nagasaki. The two bombs, the only nuclear weapons that have ever been used in war times, took the lives of over 200,000 people, mostly civilians, by the end of the year through the unprecedented degrees of heat, blast, and radiation. Those who survived had to go through a wide range of hardships caused by their loss of family, destruction of livelihood, prolonged health impacts, and social and psychological problems, including discrimination. 76 years have passed, but they are still suffering even today. Those who were exposed to radiation have been calling not only for medical treatment, but also for recognition and dignity. Sharing such stories of Hiroshima and Nagasaki with people around the world has been at the center of Peace Boat's work since its establishment in 1983. In 2008, we launched the Global Voyage for a Nuclear-Free World Peace Boat Hibakusha project. Since then, Peace Boat has traveled with over 170 hibakusha to give testimonies of their horrific experiences and the unacceptable harm caused by nuclear weapons. The government and people of Cuba have been the greatest supporters of our initiative. We were greatly honored when the late Commander Fidel Castro warmly welcomed and spoke to Peace Boat's hibakusha representatives in 2010 and 2012, and in 2016 when the current President Miguel Diaz-Canel received the hibakusha delegation too. We also recognized the government of Cuba has accepted a number of those children who were affected by Chernobyl nuclear disaster and has provided them over many years with medical support. We respect and support such a commitment of Cuba for a nuclear-free world as a country that experienced being on the brink of nuclear war in 1962. We have been so moved by your efforts to save the survivors of nuclear catastrophes. The hibakusha of Hiroshima and Nagasaki have, instead of retaliating, called for getting rid of nuclear weapons to make sure that no one will ever suffer what they had to suffer. Their call was materialized when the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW, was adopted at the United Nations in July 2017. The TPNW is the first ever multilateral treaty that categorically prohibits nuclear weapons as being incompatible with international humanitarian law. 122 countries voted in support of it, and it has so far been ratified by 56 countries. Cuba was one of the countries that signed the treaty on the very first day and ratified just several months later. With such leadership by Cuba, the historic treaty entered into force this January. Civil society groups around the world are united with the coalition of the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, ICAN, which was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017 for drawing international attention to the humanitarian consequences of nuclear weapons and for promoting the treaty-based prohibition of these weapons. Peace Boat is proud to be a central member of ICAN since its early stage, serving in its international steering group. As the first meeting of states parties of the TPNW is going to take place next March in Vienna, we are looking forward to working with the government of Cuba for this historic occasion. Peace Boat and all other members of ICAN are excited to cooperate with your government as well as other like-minded governments in preparation for the TPNW meeting and other forums, such as the upcoming NPT Review Conference. Once again, thank you so much for today's occasion. I hope this event will deepen the mutual understanding between Cuban and Japanese citizens and lead to our further cooperation for peace and disarmament. Muchas gracias.